state of Illinois, there's some counties that have a CWD late season. There's actually 2 seasons technically for it. And we're still allowed to actually shoot bucks and does. Our cameras have been pretty much dead for like the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, somewhere in there. Between all these cold fronts that came in and everything else, just killed off all the batteries and just haven't had the time to come back in and change them. So, kind of coming in here, I like to call it old school. Not a whole lot of intel or knowledge. Just come sit and see what happens. We had a pretty good season all the way through rut, and then it seemed like when rut hit, or after rut came through, a lot of our stuff died off. We stayed real warm pretty much all deer season up until these last 2 weeks. We had a couple cold spells that early season, but never did get any snow on the ground, so that kind of hurt us. But up until after rut was done, just kind of went dead in our area. Not a lot of movement, and the movement we did have was all at dark between like midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning, so not a whole lot we could really do to get on top of any more deer. Typically for our area, we have usually the second rut's usually better, and that's when we start seeing a lot more of our mature deer, and then they usually stick around throughout the whole late winter. But this year, I just think with the way the weather patterns turned up, they've just been a completely different year. So I'm strictly out here just looking for antlers. As you guys saw, I got a doe early season, actually first shotgun season here in Illinois. But Dad's out at one of our other properties. Alicia's sitting the same property as me. She's over in the food plot this evening. That's where majority of our movement's been, is over there. But like I said, it's all been at dark up until our cameras died. Then we have no idea. And then Alicia's dad's over at one of the other properties just a couple miles away from us. So we're all kind of spreading out, just gonna see what happens. Hopefully get somebody else on the board with a deer this afternoon and go from there. I think we're at like 20-something degrees right now, maybe even upper teens. About a 30-mile-an-hour northwest wind, and I think it's supposed to drop down to like -2 or -5 or somewhere in there tonight. So it's definitely been cooling off throughout the day. Kind of a front that came through is supposed to be ridiculous cold the next 3 days. So yeah, just gonna shut up, quit talking, and hopefully see some deer. So stay tuned, guys. Hopefully we have some footage for you guys.
Alright guys, I know you probably can't see me the absolute best, but me, my dad, Logan, and Logan's dad were all out hunting tonight. Me and Logan were at our normal place, and my dad was at another, and his dad was at another, and kind of try to divide and conquer. And it's a cold one tonight, but Logan went to go grab my dad from the other place and wait for them to come back. But I got a doe, and I had about 4 does come in the last about half hour. I had one come from behind me, one loop up and around me, and then 2 come in from the west. And yeah, came out to about 60 yards, and that was that. So you guys should be able to see that pretty good in the video. And yeah, it's our last season, and it is Saturday, so we're 1 day left for our deer season, and then that's about it. But it's our CWD season right now, so yeah, finally got a deer down, guys. Alright, brief intermission, guys. Logan called. But yeah, so it ended up being a really great night, and I ended up shooting her with the Savage 220, good old reliable. But yeah, I mean, it was about 26 degrees today, dropping down to about -3 tonight, so we have pretty good cold front coming in, and you know, mid-January weather. So I wanted to get a doe down before end of season, and it's been a struggle this year, so glad we finally got one down. And nobody else really seemed to have any luck tonight. I think Logan saw a coyote, my dad didn't see anything, and Tom didn't see anything. So definitely a little bit slower than we expected it to be, but for being mid-January, we don't have any snow, and that tends to hurt us quite a bit. So yeah, so Logan should be getting here any second now, and we'll make our way out and show you guys the deer. We started for now.